Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to take a trip to Costco, but not really to buy anything. What I did is I went back to 2021 and I dug out a few receipts, about 5 or 6 different receipts for different dates, i.e. months within 2021, ranging from January, I think all the way up to August. So at least 2 or more years old prices that we have here. Now I just randomly chose, I don't know, about 10 or 15 items from this receipts, knowing that they are actually still sold there. Like for example, I grabbed some rice, I grabbed some oil off of these receipts. There were some things like meat and things like that I didn't grab because on the receipts it doesn't tell you what they were charging per pound. It just tells you the total price you paid. But anyways, I grabbed some basic everyday items that I know are still at Costco, and we're going to go ahead and compare the receipts to them. So I've got my paper ready with the old prices and the name of the product that we're going to compare. We're going to take it over to Costco and see what the prices are 2 years later, because inflation is not no 9%, ladies and gentlemen. I think you all know better than that. And here we are at our lovely Costco in Fairbanks, Alaska. And today is the 26th of August, 2023, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go take a look at what the prices are looking like after 2 years of elevated inflation. The first thing we come across is this set of non-stick Kirkland pots that I purchased for $119.99. And as you can see, they are now priced at $149.99. Here is the Downy Fresh beads that are regularly sold for $18.39 and were regularly sold back in 2021 for $14.39. Even today's sale price is higher than the old regular price. The Kirkland liquid fabric softener used to sell for $9.99, and as you can see, now it sells for $10.99. And we used to get these dog treats for our dogs all the time, but we turned to meat dog treats altogether. But you can see that these have gone up considerably from the $12.59 that we used to pay for them a couple of years ago. Now taking it over to the blueberries, ladies and gentlemen, these haven't done very bad. These used to be $5.49, which puts this new price at about a 9% increase. The strawberries have done a bit better, clocking in at only 7% increase over the past 2 years. Paper towels are not on my list, but take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Almost 29 bucks for 12 rolls of paper towels. I am so happy that we stocked up on these when they were like half the price. And Lucky Charms are on the list, and this pack comes in at about $1.30 over the $6.69 that it cost a couple of years back. Now 2 years ago, whole milk was about $7.63 for 2 gallons, and although the price does fluctuate a little bit up and down all the time, today it was selling for $8.72. And as you can see, the half gallon of half and half has gone up more than 25%. From the old $3.99 to this new price of $5.29. And you know, these $1 here, $1 there, 50 cent here, and 50 cent there doesn't really sound like a lot, does it, ladies and gentlemen? But just wait until we tally everything up, and then you can let me know whether your paycheck or your Social Security or your pension pay has kept up with these price increases on a percentage basis. Now these are the eggs that we buy, and 2 years ago they were $6.99, and as you can see, they're currently sitting at $8.29. And I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, that when I used to eat these, in my opinion, they were the very best fish sticks because they have a lot of fish and very little batter. But 2 years ago they were selling for $13.49, and today they're selling for about $2.50 more at $15.99. Oh, just a second, let me get myself some of these right here. Just kidding, ladies and gentlemen, just kidding. Now let's go visit the cooking oil section. Here is the olive oil that we used to use before we switched over to virgin. And on August of 2021, this 2-pack of 3-liter bottles was selling for $26.99, and today, I'm sorry to say, ladies and gentlemen, it's selling for a whopping $44.99. And now that is a heck of a price increase. Something that's come down in price from the highs of $16 or $17 is the Kirkland canned chicken, which is currently selling for about $13.49, but it's still almost $3 higher than 2 years ago when it was selling for $10.59. Do you all remember about 3 years ago when they used to sell for like $7 or $8? And here is our favorite spread, Nutella. Who doesn't love some Nutella, ladies and gentlemen, even though it's terrible for you? Well, back in February of 2021, this 2-pack was selling for $12.39, and now it sells for, what is this, $14.79. And now we will finish it off with a prepper staple, and that is the 25-pound bag of long grain rice, which we can see that it's selling here at $16.79, and 2 years ago it was only selling for about $14.39. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the difference in prices and calculate the total increase in price of all of these items, both nominally and on a percentage basis. Let's see how much more expensive it is to get these things today than it was about 2.5 years ago or so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you appreciate this because I had to do some heavy-duty math over here. So as you can see on your left-hand side are all of the prices that I compiled for 2021, and then all of the prices that I compiled here on the 26th of August, 2023. I'm not going to go the difference in nominal value per item, but as you can see, the fish sticks went up 18.5%. The dog treats, 50%. The blueberries, 9%. Strawberries, 7%. Lucky Charms, 21%, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, you can see that I'm rounding up and down. The canned chicken, 27%. The olive oil, a whopping 67%. The Nutella, almost 20%, sitting at 19%. The Downy Pearls, 28%. The long grain rice, surprisingly, only 16.7%. But you better get your rice now because I believe that it is going to continue to go up. Depending on where you live, it's going to go up higher in some places and not as high in others, just like almost everything else. But that 12-piece pot set, the cooking pot set, 25% more than a couple of years ago. The milk has gone up 14%. The eggs, 18.6, call it 19%. The half and half, 33%. And the Kirkland fabric softener, the liquid kind, it's gone up 10%. Now let's take a look and see what the total percentage is for everything instead of individually. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at what the total for that list was back in 2021. Here, after adding everything up, in 2021, it came out to $272.59. And remember when I told you that $1 here, 50 cents there, 49 cents here, doesn't really sound like a lot. But when you compile that and add it together, it ends up being quite a bit more than it was before. For the 2023 list, the one that I did back in August 26th, it came out to $347.98. Now that's a big difference, ladies and gentlemen. It comes out to a difference of, let me see, I wrote it down here somewhere, $75.39. And when we take that and calculate it on a percentage basis from the original price that we paid in 2021 of $272.59, that comes out to a whopping 27.6% more that you paid a few years ago, a couple years ago really. But what does that really matter, AP? I'm making more today than I was making 2 years ago or 3 years ago, whatever it is. Are you really? Let's take a look at the average income for your average American back in 2020. And then let's take a look at the average income today, 2023, as of July, I believe it is. So back in 2020, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, your average, ladies and gentlemen, your average wage, your average mean wage for a year, for your average American, and this means when they take all of the wage earners, all right, everyone that makes money because of a job in the US, and they compile it together and they take out the average. Your average person that's employed was making $56,310 back in 2020. So I would assume that in order for us to keep up with inflation, at least in this example, I'm sure that you can do your own example and it'll be off because we all have different shopping habits, right? But at least for this example, in order for my wages to keep up with inflation, I would assume that my wages would have to gone up by, let's do the math. What's 25 or let's say 27% of 56,000? Well, look at it for yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. In order for us to be able to keep up with inflation, at least with the examples that I showed you, we would now have to be making $71,513. It's like I've always said, when they tell you, oh, inflation this year, the worst year of inflation ever, 9.1%. And then they're like, oh, it's going down. Now it's 6% or 7, whatever it might be. And then this year, I think they've got it down all the way down to like 3 or 4%. But we'll take a quick look at that here. When they tell you that, ladies and gentlemen, they're lying. All right. Inflation is a tool that is used to steal your wealth from you, and most people don't even know that it's happening. They just know that prices are going up and they're having to work more hours to get the same things they did before. Now let's take a look at what the BLS says that the average wage was back in 2022. They don't have 2023 out yet, but I did find a source that has it up to the month of July, I believe. Well, it looks like we're doing better because in 2022, it shows that the average wage was $61,900. So that's not terrible, ladies and gentlemen. That's actually halfway decent. It's about a 10% or so, 10, 13% wage increase than the year previous. Well, let's take a look at 2023. And here so far in 2023, I found this on JobTed. They've calculated thus far that in 2023, your average salary in the U.S. is $53,490. So it looks like maybe we went backward a little bit. And that makes sense because of all the job losses that have been occurring here in this year and late into last year. So ladies and gentlemen, again, has your pay kept up with inflation? Not according to my numbers, but according to your numbers. And what are you doing in order to make sure that the inflationary forces that are upon us now and will continue to devastate our purchasing powers, what are you doing to mitigate that in the future? I can't really tell you what to do, but I'll tell you what I do. I make sure that I buy everything that I need and I have a very good supply of everything that I need at all times. And I've tried over the years to get myself into what I like to call the filling in the gaps level, meaning that I've got everything I need for years, probably in some cases. And now all I have to do is that whenever I use something up or I'm getting close to maybe having a year's supply of toilet paper, I go ahead and get some more to make sure that I keep adding to it, because inflation only has one way to go. We may get a little bit of a respite, all right, but eventually it's going to go back up. Look at this for an example. You see that canned chicken that it used to be like $7-8, I believe, like 3 years ago, and then it went all the way up to like $16-17, and now it came back down to $13. But many people forget that at $13, it's almost twice the price that it was 3-4 years ago. Right, ladies and gentlemen? So you get a little bit of a respite where they allow the people to get used to these new high prices. And then the next time that we get another round of inflation, it's going to go higher than what the high was last time. And then it's going to settle back down, but at a higher price than what we're getting used to paying right now. That's how they steal your wealth year after year after year, generation after generation, ladies and gentlemen. So protect yourselves, get everything that you can get now, that you can put away for the future, have some money out of the bank. And I'm not a financial advisor, remember that, but I always like to purchase a little bit of precious metals in the form of gold and silver with my excess wealth, meaning any monies that I have left over after I have everything that I need to sustain my family for a elongated period of time. I hope that you got something out of this. I would think that it would benefit you to do your own test. That way you can wake up to the fact, if you're not awake yet, that you are being ripped off. How? Inflation. Inflation is just another tax, ladies and gentlemen, that most people are not taught about in school. And if you don't learn it for yourself, you'll never know it. The only thing you'll ever know is that, man, why is it that now I have to work a full-time job and a part-time job in order to get the same stuff that I got last year? Have a great day. I hope you got something out of this once again. God bless every one of you, ladies and gentlemen. God bless America. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.